engines growling like a wildcat, ready to jump off the track. Radio crackling warnings, storms coming in from the west, but I ain't scared of no thunder. I've flown through worse than the rest. When that freight line calls my number, I put my courage to the test, 'cause I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, flying high where the brave ones wander. Got a fire in my soul and a storm to outrun, pushing this bird through the wind like a loaded gun. Yeah, I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, till the job gets done. 30,000 feet and climbing, skies turning black as coal, lightning flashing like a spotlight, but I'm steady in control. Ain't no storm gonna shake me when I'm locked into my road. Cargo humming in the cabin, wings cutting clean through the rain. Every mile feels like a battle, but I'm winning just the same. Ain't no blues like the sky blues when you're flying through the pain. I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, flying high where the brave ones wander. Got a fire in my soul and a storm to outrun, pushing this bird through the wind like a loaded gun. Yeah, I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, till the job gets done. When the night gets cold and the sky turns mean, I dig down deep in that place unseen, 'cause a pilot with a purpose ain't afraid of the fight. He just leans on the throttle and tears through the night. Pushing this bird through the wind like a loaded gun. Yeah, I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, till the job gets done.
Okay. I just realized my mic was muted. My bad. Hope everyone's doing okay today. Welcome. We're continuing our journey to purchase a new aircraft in career mode. Manage. Will never know what's gonna happen there. Let's go.
Captain, are you ready? Great. It's Shane, your dispatcher, you know? Just a quick reminder about
Don't
today's
you know?
raw materials on board. This is a very important shipment for one of our clients. Needs to get to Mount Pleasant promptly. Our skids are built to handle slight turbulence but maintain a constant flight speed and adapt to changing conditions. A prompt, safe delivery is the key for our business success. All the relevant info is in the flight packet uploaded on your map. Clear skies ahead.
I really dislike the flight paths they have you do around the airports on approach. Bother me quite a bit. But so is life, I guess. On.
Kilo Papa Golf Alpha traffic. Hazard Hotel Alpha 2912 is taxiing to runway Tree. Kilo Papa Golf Alpha.
I have not flown this plane in a while. I might be a little bit rusty. Oh, wrong button. We'll just skip to takeoff. That sounds like a better plan.
Kilo Papa Golf Alpha traffic. Hazard Hotel Hotel Alpha 29er12. Taking off runway Tree. North departure. Kilo Papa Golf Alpha.
Alright. Beans. I'm a little bit rusty in this plane. I'm used to slightly larger aircraft. More power and stuff. Don't know what exactly Yoke is doing in games, kind of going opposite of what I'm doing, but that's fine. Trying to get nav mode to hold. Seem to want to. Okay. I think it's locked in now. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, we're locked in. All right. Almost to 10,000 in a way.
Stall. 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 Stall.
What is my trim doing? There's some wind or something going on. Autopilot is not helping me right now. All by hand. Autopilot's making it all worse. Is it? Sorry, my stream yesterday, I had something playing in the background, so I had the volume turned down a little bit. And this plane's a little bit quiet too, so. Is that any better? Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Game's still low. Give it a little more power. More power in the DBs. That any better? Almost got it yellow lined, so I mean I can still go up a little bit more if needed. Sweet. Awesome, thank you much. Appreciate you. I would be using autopilot right now, but autopilot was mistreating me, so I shut it off. Yeah, this is a nice view. We are currently flying from about right around the Utah-Arizona border up to about almost mid-state of Utah, Mount Pleasant. Pretty cool terrain. EFB said we had about 7-knot winds. Isn't too bad, considering. There were a few flights I could have taken that had like twice or even 3 times that higher winds. Like, I haven't flown this plane in a while. I've been doing a lot of free flying in my streams recently, so probably find something with a low wind factor. Shooting for the boxes, but we're almost there. Hoping that once I get in this boxed area I can get autopilot back on and hope it treats me better than it was a few minutes ago. Peace. It's a 172. I need to bust out as many missions as I can and get to this like 4.8 million range so I can get rid of this thing. I hate it. I want something with more power. I would love a Beechcraft King Air 350i, but that's going to be far off. That's going to be, last time I saw a price on one, it was like 8 million something. So I'm going to have to kind of take stepping stones to get to my Beechcraft. And the step down, I believe, would be Cessna Caravan. Still a single engine, single prop, where the Beechcraft is dual, but gotta take what I can get. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on. Cycle nav mode. You gonna hold? Be a good boy. Pat, pat, pat. Please hold. Okay. And we are essentially at altitude. Be leveling off. That should go away. Come on. Away. Maybe not. Okay. The game wanted me to hit 12,200, which is kind of a little high for my liking in this particular aircraft, but I have to keep in mind that Mount Pleasant, our destination, its altitude is a little bit higher and we have to go over kind of a mountain range. So I kind of have to be up at this altitude. Usually I try and stick to around like 10,000 in this plane. But sometimes you gotta, I guess, pick your battles. I don't know a whole lot about the Caravan. I just know that it's gonna be better than this piece of crap. Super slow. It's like, how do I describe this plane? Not very responsive, and when it does respond, it like overcompensates sometimes and kind of like does its own thing. You have to sometimes like baby this thing during the whole flight, where I have a feeling the Caravan isn't going to be like that, being a larger, more powerful plane. I hope I'm right, but guess I'll find out. I have had people recommend that I just buy another Cessna 172 with my $1 million and hire a pilot to run that while I fly this one. And I was like, well, I could, but I think I would just make the money faster if I just bank it all instead of spending, you know, 800,000-900,000. on a plane. When I have like a goal, you know? But I'm always open to everybody's input on that aspect. My current airspeed right now, I'm essentially peaked out on RPM. So I'm sitting at about 93, 94, pretty slow. I could give it a little bit more power. Let's see. I'll give it a little bit more. Doesn't really want to go. Just tapped out, man. Got my engine RPM and airspeed down here as well. Altitude. Don't touch the screens. Touch, touch, touch. Seem to be locked into the flight path for now. Take a look around out here. Yeah, you can see that mountain kind of in front of us there. That's the reason we got to be at this altitude. I think the main problem with this plane is it's not a turbo plane. If it had a turbo on it, I think it would be a much better plane. You get slightly higher speeds and altitudes with it. It was listed as an hour and a half, roughly. Or but a lot of the flights that were close by where I was, this one paid the most. The rest were only gonna pay like 50 to 60K, and this one particularly was a little bit longer by about 30 minutes or so, but the payout on it was like 116,000 or something. So I think it was just more beneficial to take this flight, even though it was a little bit longer. I can make twice as much for an extra half hour versus the other ones that were like 45 minutes. Of 2 an hour, something like that. And this particular flight kind of took me in a direction I wanted to go. I wanted to fly north. And then from there, I was going to try and fly east. I'm currently on autopilot. I have it on... It is engaged. Nav mode on. Altitude locked in. The only thing that's kind of frustrating me at the moment is it's not clearing. Yeah, hand flying this isn't too bad. I will give it that. If you're at a lower altitude. These higher altitudes are kind of brutal on this plane. It likes to catch breezes pretty easily. See how much the autopilot's having to correct just from like a 7-knot wind. It's insane. Oh, there it went. Wow. That was very delayed. We're rocking and rolling, my friends. approaching the plateau. You know, you know what? I have no idea, man. I had somebody try and explain the barometric pressure stuff to me. But I don't quite understand it. Like, I understand the principle of it. But I personally, now this is probably going to sound insane. I'm so used to flying without even messing with it that if I mess with it now, I'm going to have to like relearn how to land planes, because I'm used to landing just freehand, you know, without autopilot and stuff like that. So I don't know. I just put it on the ground. I judge my surroundings and speed and all that stuff. I've never worried about it. I have a buddy in my Discord that's all about, you know, oh, you gotta set the oro pressure or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I really, I can't tell. And if I change it now, yeah, it's just gonna mess me up. Maybe I'll start tinkering with it in like a free fly where it doesn't matter the repercussions if I eat it on the runway and have to pay for an airplane, you know? Oh, really? I don't know if there is an option for that in this particular version. I haven't had anybody tell me that. I don't even know where it is in here. Comms. I don't know. Does this plane even have that? Wow, our altitude is not that high over this. Well, how would it be to have a house like right on the edge of that? Does it really? But You should ask it if this particular plane even has that option now. Because I don't even see a barometric pressure toggle anywhere in the instrument panel here. Or across the clusters. I mean, I could just be blind. But that's interesting. I didn't know that there was a keyboard shortcut for it. That's good to know. And is it static? Does the shortcut allow the pressure to fluctuate, or do you have to re-enable? It has to be in the settings of the glass display. Alerts, nearest, I don't see any keys for it across the bottom here. Oh, in 2004 you have to update it manually for changing weather? That's interesting. Oh wait, look. Borrow. But that's not right. That's not what I'm... Huh. Interesting. We're gonna skim right over the top of this mountain. And in case anyone's wondering, I do have a webcam. It is available. I just don't have it enabled in OBS right now. Yeah, but I'm still in the within the box here. This box never follows the outer. I call those the training boxes for the visual boxes. This is always different than that, I've noticed. I've never had a flight where they were exactly the same. Well, I take that back. Maybe once. And I just got the Steam achievement for like 50 hours of flight or something like that, so. And typically when I'm about 35 nautical miles away from the destination, I disengage autopilot and I do get inside the training boxes as close as I can, and I kind of follow them in. I don't necessarily follow the what do they call that, the approach pattern to a T. I tend to cut off the outer loop. Maybe about 60% of the time I cut off the outer loop. And I just make the kind of square pattern into land. I don't do that extra loop on the outside. How's it going, Snow? We are flying from southern Utah to about central Utah, Mount Pleasant, hour-and-a-half flight, about halfway there, maybe. Yeah, we're just about right in the center. Running some cargo. Hoping to get paid for an upgrade in the future. How are you doing? You doing okay there, Snow? And I never asked how, but now I'm gonna try and say your name. Langotin? Langotin? How are you doing today? I never asked. Usually I try and ask how people are doing. I hope you're doing well. And if you guys prefer, I can definitely turn on my face cam or whatever we want to call it, face cam, webcam. I just have it off at the moment. I'll leave that up to chat. Very nice mountains. Getting into greener pastures, as they say. I always forget the EFB's over there. I could have just looked over there instead of opening it. Silly me. Hoping I can land this thing okay. Been a while since I've flown it, so. As I like to say, I'll hope for the best and expect the worst. Another 20 nautical miles I will disengage autopilot. I have a history of damaging landing gears in this plane when I land, so be prepared for that. I don't necessarily have rough landings historically with this, but enough that I do some like tire damage. How many miles? Looks like 48.5 nautical miles to destination. We are about 3/4 of the way there. This is going to be fun because I get to drop off this mountain ridge and come in for a landing at this steep downward angle. That's going to be great fun. Good times. Probably about another 20 minutes, yeah. Flight time was supposed to roughly be like hour and a half, something like that. And it's been about an hour and 10 minutes. Not too bad. If you want, we can do another one after this. I don't have a whole lot going on, so. See how much we can earn today, put towards the plane upgrade. This one should get me at least another 116,000 if I don't crash on the runway. I do have a random question for the viewers out there. I got into a discussion with somebody, and we were talking about the pros and cons of playing music during live streams, because I have a lot of like custom music for with like my channel name and about a Cessna 172 and all this stuff. And historically, I always played it, or not always played it, periodically I'd play some here and there. And he didn't think it was such a good idea. I would love people's feedback Is background music kind of a distraction or not a good thing? Does it bother you? Or do you not care? I'm really interested. Is the mixture mixing automatically by the sim too? What do you mean by that? Is the mixture mixing? Now, bear in mind, when I ask flight simulator questions, this is the first flight simulator I've ever played. I had never played any previous versions like 2004 or 2000 or anything else. So the red knob next to the throttle, yeah, it's mixing 52.8. I'm pretty sure that's automatic as far as I know. I knew absolutely nothing about flight simulators before I jumped into this game. I was 50-50 on even buying it. Because the only previous experience I had was, I think, Steam had a sale one day and Microsoft Flight Simulator, I think it was like Simulator X, was on sale and really cheap. It was like $5 or something, crazy cheap. And there was no tutorial. There was no explanation of how to do anything. It just dropped me into an airplane at the end of a runway, and I couldn't even figure out how to turn the thing on or, you know, do anything in this plane. And so I turned it off and kind of gave up. And I started to see footage of this, and I was like, oh wow, there's actually like instructions. I could do that now. I really enjoy this game. It's almost the only game I play now. I play it almost, or live stream it almost every day. Some days I can't quite make it, but I go live every day I can at the same time, 3:30 my time. So about an hour and 15 minutes ago is when I went live. And I typically stream it for 2 to 3 hours, probably 4 times a week, at least. On Sundays, I'll play some Farm Simulator with some friends, but that's almost it now. I'm addicted to it. The last 3 streams I did were scenic flights. First one I did was in Europe over the Alps. That one was pretty nice. The one I did after that was New Zealand. That one was pretty cool. The one I did yesterday was interesting. I island hopped 5 major islands of Hawaii. That was quite fun. Okay, I'm going to disengage autopilot. Trim a little bit. Over here. Yeah, see, and you got Flight Simulator X for $5 too, so yeah, I've got a couple friends or a number of friends in my Discord group that are really seriously into Flight Simulator. They've got all sorts of, I call them toys, but they're just, you know, like the yoke setup with the throttle and the pedals and all that stuff. That stuff's a little fancy and expensive for me. I'm just using a controller, keyboard, and mouse for now. I do plan on, when they have more of them, I want that honeycomb aviation controller thing. That thing looks sweet. Got the 4 levers on there that you can use for throttle and trim wheel and all that stuff. Looks sweet. Whoa, breezes. Breezes now. Come on. If anybody else is really into Flight Simulator and occasionally flying with friends or whatever, which I have done several times, I do have a Discord group. Trying to get flyers in there. You're a fellow streamer. We try and catch each other's streams when we can and hang out. Woo. I've learned a lot, though, just in the few months I've played this. Like, I didn't even know what trim was, but now I do. And that's just one of the things I've learned. Jeez. Come on now. This does not feel like 7-knot wind. Probably more like 10, 12 maybe. And it's coming in these crazy gusts. Oh ho ho. Everything's fine. We are good. It's like flying a paper airplane. I'm hoping once I get down in this valley, whoa, updraft, the winds are a little bit calmer, but we'll see what happens. Wow. 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 I'm pretty sure I can. Not at the moment. I'm sure as I come in. I know when you're at the airports, you can definitely listen to them. When we come in for a landing, I'll check again and see what they say the winds are. I have a feeling the EFB was lying to me on these 7-knot winds. Wow. There's these moments of just like no wind at all, and then just crazy gusts and updrafts. Kind of fun. Like riding a bull. Jeez. That was a downdraft. Zero pressure. This could go horribly wrong. I do have insurance though, so. Wow. I'm hoping it's calm down here. Kind of down in like a bowl, so I'm hoping the wind is kind of skirting over this town, but we'll see. Sometimes the winds are actually worse in places like this. Ooh. It does not seem like the winds are calming. They're about the same. You know what? I didn't even check. Usually I check the altitude of the airport, but I did not do that this time.
4 tree uniform traffic. Hazard Hotel Hotel Alpha 2912. Tree miles southeast, 8300. Inbound to land. Runway 21. 4 tree uniform.
If I had to guess, it's probably something like that, yeah. I'm not going to take the whole loop, but I'm taking a portion of it. Whoa.
Tree uniform traffic. Hazard Hotel Alpha 29er12 is on final. Runway 21. To land, 4 Tree uniform.
Oh, buddy. That was not bad. It was not butter, but it was not bad. Oh, we'll find out once we get back to the hangar there. I will say I do have a pretty good reputation in this game. I'm almost S tier.
Tree uniform traffic. Hazard Hotel Alpha 29er12 is taxiing to parking. 4 Tree uniform.
Oop, wrong button. All right, let's see how we did. How'd we do? Come on, S tier. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Show me the money. Ooh, yeah. 154K. It was that $38,000 from the bad weather bonus. S tier. All right, let's check the status of the airplane. See if I blew the tires out. I'll give it a wash. No, I did not blow the tires out. Nice. Thing's still good standing. The engine doing bad. Awesome. Yeah, you can see how long it's been since I've actually done a career flight. At least back to the 28th. I think even maybe a week or so before that. Awesome. All right, should I do another one or save it for my next stream? All right, gotta update my stats on screen to 1.1 million. Almost 1.2. We're almost there. We're going. Yeah. If you like this, please hit the like and subscribe. I much appreciate it. One more or wait for tomorrow? Anybody? Input? Tomorrow? Okay. All right. We will continue our missions tomorrow. For that, we will take a quick look where we're at. Oh, not much around here. Maybe we'll have something like this, 133 credits. 30, 127. Not too bad. Yeah. So possibly we hit 1.3 tomorrow. We get that bad weather bonus on top of that standard payment. Should be pretty nice. All right. Well, I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in, hitting that like and subscribe as always. And I will see you all tomorrow.
Well, I rode out on the tarmac, sun beating down on my back. Got a load bound for the mountains, ain't no time ready to jump off the track. Radio crackling warnings, storms coming in from the west, but I ain't scared of no thunder. I've flown through worse than the rest. When that freight line calls my number, I put my courage to the test, 'cause I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, flying high where the brave ones wander. Got a fire in my soul and a storm to outrun, pushing this bird through the wind like a loaded gun. Yeah, I'm riding that freight line, Texas thunder, till the job gets done. 30,000 feet and climbing, skies turning black as coal, lightning flashing like a spotlight, but I'm steady in control. Ain't no storm gonna shake